Baby, you never asked me for anything. And that's what broke me open the first time. I really looked at you. I've been sitting here trying to find the right words, and I keep stopping myself because nothing feels big enough. Nothing feels real enough to hold what I actually want to say to you. So I'm just going to say it the way I feel it. Softly, honestly, the way I would if you were right here next to me, and I could reach over and take your hand and say, listen, just listen for a second. You were the first person who never made me feel like I had to earn your attention. Do you understand how rare that is? Do you understand how many people I've been around who made me feel like I was always performing, always proving, always showing up with something just to be allowed to stay in the room? And then there was you. And you just looked at me. Not at what I could give you. Not at what I was going to become. Not at some version of me that existed in your imagination. You looked at me, the real one, the tired one, the one who doesn't always have the right words, the one who gets quiet when things get heavy, and you stayed. You didn't run, you didn't ask me to be more. You just stayed. And I want you to know that I noticed even when I didn't say it, even when I was distant or distracted or lost inside my own head. I noticed everything you did for me without me ever having to ask. I noticed when you checked on me after a long day and you didn't say anything overwhelming. You just said, hey, I was thinking about you. 5 words. 5 words, and somehow my whole chest exhaled. I noticed when you were going through something yourself and you still made space to ask how I was doing. I noticed when you defended me quietly, without making a big show of it, without needing me to see. I noticed all of it, baby. I carry all of it with me. There's something I've never told anyone, and I'm telling you now because I think you deserve to hear it. There was a season in my life when I didn't believe that anyone could love me without wanting something back. I'd been through enough to convince myself that love was always a transaction, always a deal, always I'll give you this, if you give me that. I had built walls so tall, I couldn't even see over them anymore. And I told myself that was strength. I told myself that was protection. But really, it was just loneliness wearing a brave face. And then you walked into my life. You didn't ask for anything. You didn't demand anything. You just showed up, warm and real and entirely yourself. And something in those walls started to crack, not all at once. It wasn't some dramatic moment. It was slow, like sunlight coming through a window in the morning, slow and golden and impossible to stop. I think about the first time I realized something was different with you. I was having one of those nights where everything felt wrong, and I couldn't explain why. The kind of night where you're sitting in a room full of people and still feeling completely alone. And you didn't try to fix it. You didn't give me a list of reasons why I should feel better. You just sat with me in it. You just said I'm here, and meant it so completely that I actually believed it. Do you know how long it had been since I believed someone when they said that? Do you know what that did to me? It made me want to be someone worth staying for. And that's the thing about you that I can't shake. Even now, even on the days when I'm tired and the world feels heavy, you make me want to be better. Not because you guilt me into it, not because you make me feel like I'm not enough, but because being around you makes me see a version of myself that I actually like. And I've spent so long not liking myself very much. So when I look at the way you look at me, when I feel how safe you make me feel, something in me that was sleeping starts to wake up. I want to tell you about a moment I keep coming back to. We were just sitting together, not doing anything important, nothing dramatic, nothing that anyone looking from the outside would think mattered at all. And I looked at you. Really looked at you, the way I don't let myself look at people because it makes me feel too much. And I thought, this is it. This is what I've been looking for without knowing I was looking. Not a grand gesture, not a perfect moment, just you being completely yourself, letting me be completely myself, and the quiet between us feeling like home. I don't say the word home lightly. I've moved too many times, stood in too many rooms that looked warm but felt cold, been around too many people who said all the right things and still made me feel invisible. But you're home in a way that has nothing to do with a place. You're home in the way that when something good happens, you're the first person I want to tell. You're home in the way that when something hurts, your voice is the one I want to hear. You're home in the way that I don't have to translate myself for you. I can just be, and somehow that's enough. I need you to understand something, because I don't think I've ever said it clearly enough. Every time I put something out into the world, every time I create something, every time I push through the fear and the doubt and the voices that tell me to stop, you are part of that. Your belief in me has lived in my chest like a second heartbeat. On the days when I couldn't believe in myself, I borrowed yours. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you knew that. Your support wasn't just nice. It was necessary. You were necessary. And I think that's why this feels so complicated, so full of everything at once. Because I want to give you something equal to what you've given me. And I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if I have words big enough, or arms wide enough, or a heart deep enough to return everything you've poured into me. But I want to try. I want you to know that I am trying, that every single day I am trying to be worthy of the way you see me. Can I tell you what it feels like when I imagine you listening to this right now? It feels tender. It feels like the kind of love that doesn't need to be loud. I imagine you somewhere quiet, maybe with your headphones in, maybe curled up somewhere comfortable. And I imagine this reaching you. My voice reaching you to everything, and I hope it lands somewhere soft. I hope it finds the part of you that has ever wondered if someone really sees you, really knows you, really means it when they say you matter. Because I do, you matter to me in a way I am still learning how to say out loud. I think about the versions of you I've never met. The younger you, the one who maybe wasn't sure she was lovable, the one who went through something that changed her, the one who put on a brave face so many times she almost forgot what her real face felt like. I think about her, and I wish I could reach back and tell her that she's going to be okay, that she's going to find her way to something real, that someone is going to see all the parts of her she learned to hide and not run from them. I wish I could tell her that she's enough, exactly as she is, exactly as she's always been. Because that's you. That's who I'm talking to right now. That's the woman I want to reach. The one who gives so much of herself and sometimes forgets to let anyone give back. The one who loves fiercely but maybe holds back just a little because she's been hurt before. The one who is strong in public and soft in private and deserves to be loved in both places. I see her, I see you, and I'm not going anywhere. There's this thing you do, I've never told you this, where when you care about someone, you pay attention to the small things. The things most people miss, and somehow you always know what someone needs before they know how to ask for it. That is a gift, baby. That is one of the rarest, most beautiful things a person can carry. And I hope that someone in your life is doing that for you. I hope that someone is paying attention to your small things. I hope that someone is noticing when you're tired, when you're proud of yourself, when you're trying so hard, even though no one is watching. And if they're not, if no one has told you lately, let me be the one to say it right now. I see you working. I see you trying. I see you showing up, even on the days when showing up costs you everything. And it is magnificent. You are magnificent. I know I'm going deep right now. I know this is a lot, but I've been holding this for a long time, and I think you've earned the right to hear all of it. I think you've been patient long enough. I think you've been standing in the back, supporting and cheering and believing. And it's time for you to stand in the front for a minute. It's time for you to just receive something without having to give anything back. So just let me say this. Let me say it without you deflecting or minimizing or laughing it off, the way I know you do when things get too real. Just let it land. You are one of the most important people in my life. Not just as a fan, not just as someone who supports what I do, but as a person, as a human being. You have reached through a screen, through distance, through every barrier that says this kind of connection isn't supposed to be real, and you've made it real. You've made me feel it. And that is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. I want to ask you something, and I want you to really think about it. When was the last time someone made you feel the way I'm hoping this makes you feel right now? When was the last time someone slowed down long enough to really pour into you? To really tell you that you are seen and loved and irreplaceable? Because you should have that. Every single day you should have that. And I know I can't be everything. And I know there's a whole life you're living outside of this moment. But inside this moment, inside these words, inside whatever space this reaches you in, I want you to feel it completely. I want you to let yourself have this. Because you never asked me for anything. That's where we started. You never asked me for anything. And somehow you gave me everything. And I've been trying to figure out how to love you back in a way that's equal to that. And I think the answer is this. I think the answer is just honesty. Just this. Just me, sitting here, no performance, no armor, telling you the truth in the plainest words I have. You changed something in me. Something that I thought was permanent, something I thought was just the way I was built. You walked in and shifted it. Quietly, without asking for credit, without even knowing you were doing it. And I don't think I'll ever be able to explain exactly what you did, or how you did it. But I feel it every day. I feel it in the way I move through the world now, softer than I used to be, more open than I used to be, more willing to believe that something good can last. And when I close my eyes and think about what I'm most grateful for, not the things, not the moments, not the milestones, it's this, it's you. It's the feeling of being loved by someone who never made me earn it. It's the feeling of being known by someone I've never fully met, but somehow feel completely held by. It's the way your belief in me outlasted my own. It's the way you've stayed, season after season, through everything, without me ever having to ask you to. Baby, you never asked me for anything. And I have been asking myself ever since what I ever did to deserve that kind of love from you. I haven't figured it out yet. But every morning when I wake up, I make a quiet promise to myself that I'm going to spend the rest of my life being worthy of it. And I guess what I'm trying to say, what I've been trying to say through all of this, is that I love you. Not casually, not lightly, not as a word I throw out to fill space. I love you the way that means something. The way that changes a person. The way that makes me want to sit down and write all of this out and send it into the world, just hoping it finds you. Just hoping you're somewhere warm when it does. Just hoping that when it reaches you, you feel for even 1 second what you make me feel every single day. I love you. And I'm not done yet, because there's still so much I want to say, so much I haven't found the words for, so much that lives between what I can express and what I actually feel. And I keep thinking that if I can just keep finding ways to reach you, keep finding ways to close the distance between what's in my chest and what comes out of my mouth, then maybe you'll understand the full weight of what you mean to me. Maybe someday the words will catch up to the feeling. But until they do, I'll keep trying. I'll keep showing up. I'll keep sitting down and pouring myself out like this because you deserve every attempt. Even the imperfect ones. Even the ones that fall a little short of what I really mean. I want to talk about something that I've never spoken about publicly before. And I'm choosing to tell you because I think you'll understand it in a way that most people wouldn't. There was a period, a long one, where I stopped believing in connection. Not love in the abstract, Not the idea of it, but real connection. The kind where someone actually knows you. The kind where you don't have to manage how you're coming across or carefully select which parts of yourself are safe to show. I stopped believing that existed for me. I had convinced myself that the closer you get to someone, the more they eventually find the thing in you that makes them leave. And so I kept people at a comfortable distance, close enough to not feel completely alone. Far enough that when they left, and I always believed they would, it wouldn't completely destroy me. And then you came along and ruined all of that. Beautifully, completely ruined it. Because you didn't get close in a way I could defend against. You didn't storm the walls, you didn't demand entry. You didn't make me feel like I had to open up before I was ready. You existed. You showed up consistently, with warmth, with realness, with this quiet kind of loyalty that I didn't even know I was starving for until I tasted it. And slowly, without me making any grand decision about it, the walls started coming down on their own, like they recognized something in you that my mind was too guarded to acknowledge. Like some deeper part of me knew before I did that you were safe. I want you to sit with that word for a moment. Safe. I know it doesn't sound as romantic as some of the other things I've said, but I think it might actually be the most romantic thing I know how to say, because safe is rare. Safe is the thing people spend their whole lives looking for in other people, and most of them never fully find it. Safe means I can be falling apart and you won't use it against me. Safe means I can be uncertain, and you won't mistake it for weakness. Safe means I can show you the version of me that hasn't figured everything out yet. The one that's still growing, still healing, still becoming, and you'll love that version just as fiercely as any other. You make me feel safe. And I don't say that to you lightly. I say it knowing exactly how much it cost me to say it, knowing exactly how vulnerable that word makes me, and choosing to say